Today I'm going to be ranking which killers are good or bad for controller players. You're either watching this video because you're somewhat newer to the game and want to see what killers are easy for you due to your limited fingering capability, so you stumbled on this video, or because you're trash. Yeah, the tiers that I'm going to have are anyone can use. These killers' powers are fairly easy to use. These killers may take a few games to fully get the hang of, but you could definitely put these killers in your bag. Could be challenging. These killers are ones that might be challenging for some and are either slightly like inconsistent or you're just limited compared to like PC players. Will take time to learn. These killers are usually like either very trial and error and will take a bunch of games to get the hang of, or they're just that difficult due to your fingering skills not being very high. And last but not least, we have just pick someone else at this point. Before I start ranking, let me say a few things. The first thing is this whole list is based on my opinion. Someone who plays more for fun and not to win every single match. Two, since it is opinion based, and since it is opinion based, there are spots that you're not going to agree with, which is okay, because you might find a killer very easy, while I find that killer unplayable for me. I'm also basing off of the mechanical skill needed for the killer's power and not how strong the killer actually is. And last but not least, let's be respectful to everyone down in the comments below and to me, but mostly to other people. This list is maybe for some beginners who want some suggestions, or the video is just for straight up entertainment. So make sure to be respectful and nice, and subscribe so I can save up for a PC. I edited this whole video on my phone, so please give me a break. Alright, anyways, let's get into the list. Trapper is in anyone can use because you hold down L2 at a loop or somewhere you want to guard, and yeah, you did it. You played Trapper. You successfully fingered as the Trapper. Alright, bro, I'm gonna stop saying that shit. It's just kind of weird. Wraith is also when anyone can use. You hold your trigger to go invisible and you're speedy, and then you hold it again and you get a speed boost. It's a little more complicated than that, especially like using his power at pallets or at loops trying to get hits. That's always a decent strategy, but if you just use it for like mobility and stuff like that, he's very easy to use. Hillbilly, I have him in. It's gonna take time to learn. His curves, his 360 mind games are definitely possible, but extremely hard. But possible. You definitely would find it easier on PC, and this killer is fun. He just takes skill. Nurse, I also got in. Will take time to learn, and there are people out there that's like, Nurse really isn't that hard. Every blink is a free hit. And most of the people who say that don't play her on console. There are people who do, and props to them. I think she's really difficult on controller, but if you go against survivors who know how to play against Nurse, which is a surprising amount of them, she feels so awful to play. You can't blink and then instantly do 360s to guarantee hits like PC nurses. Yeah, you're just gonna feel limited playing this character. Some nurses on console are insane, and a really good nurse is pretty much unbeatable, which I do agree, but she has one of the lowest kill rates in the game for a reason. Mikael Myers. I haven't anyone can use. You kind of just stalk. Hold down the trigger while looking at a survivor. It's not that hard. I got Heaven easy to use. She isn't as strong as before, and she isn't really hard to play. You kind of just like put down a trap and teleport to it when it gets triggered. I guess she does take good game sense and good reaction time, so yeah. I have Doctrine easy to use because you use your static blast and every survivor nearby will scream. Use your shock therapy during chase and they can't use pallets or vault. It does take a little bit of aim and prediction though, and a little bit of timing, because if you're not doing any of that stuff, you're going to be losing distance. So he's not like too brain dead, but he's not hard. Huntress, I was thinking about these two tiers, but I ultimately decided to put her in. Will take time to learn. You need to learn her timings, cooldowns. Cross mapping is a little harder on controller. Aiming in general is just a little bit harder, and this is probably just something I struggle with. I would love a crosshair. Like, I don't know where the middle of my fucking screen is, bro. Like, it doesn't matter for M1 killers, but with a killer I need to aim with, I'm so reliant on crosshair, so not having one makes her a little bit harder for me personally. Definitely a skill issue, but still. Bubba, I have an easy to use. After a few matches of learning the timing of his charges on his chainsaw, and you will be doing pretty decent in chase, so you don't really have to worry about too much. I think his charges should be automatic, low-key, but that's just me. Freddy, I have an easy to use. I'm not gonna lie, I've only used him like once or twice after his recent rework, and I gotta say, he's not so brain dead like holding down a button like Trapper, but his changes are definitely something I gotta get used to. Anybody could easily use him though. Just learn how to use the snare and chase, because you can dodge it pretty easy and you'll be fine. I have one of my favorite killers, the pig, and anyone can use. Get down a survivor, put a trap on their head, and now they gotta get it off. You successfully played the pig. And to those that say her ambush takes skill, I guess, but it's not even an issue of it taking skill. It's an issue of the move being fucking dog shit. Clown, anyone can use. Piss bottle, everything moves fast. You throw a purple bottle, survivors are slow. That's pretty much it. He's kind of fun too. Like, I low-key recommend him for some newer console players. He's pretty good. Spirit, I have her in easy to use because she's not like crazy hard to use. You kind of just hold out to then predict where the survivor is going to be, but you need amazing hearing or turn your headphones up to 200% volume and sweat as much as you can and you're fine. But not everybody wants to go deaf before turning 25, and some people play on TVs off of like in a living room or something. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in easy to use. Legion, I'm a Legion main, and running fast with a knife as a misunderstood adult is exactly what I want to do. I would put this character in easy to use realistically, or anybody could use realistically, but it's my list, so I'm putting them down here just because I can. Am I biased because I main them and I lose a lot? Yes, it's my list, get over it. Plague I have in could be challenging, only because whipping your joystick around tends to do more harm to your controller and your joysticks than it does to the actual survivors. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to whip your camera around to get all these hits all the time, but it's cool. Plus, aiming is harder on console than it is on PC. She could be a tier higher, honestly, because she's not like too hard to play, but just because you're on a controller with joysticks, I'm just gonna put her here. Ghostface I also have in could be challenging, and I know people are gonna completely disagree with me in the comments, and please be nice, and I understand he should not be here. You hold L2, you stalk, it's the same as Michael. This is most likely just a skill issue on my part, but his leaning mechanic feels so fucking inconsistent to me. At times, I'll lean when I don't want to, and I get revealed because my fucking ass cheeks are showing from behind the tree, or I'm trying to lean and Ghostface just wants to fuck the tree instead. As I said, it's definitely a skill issue, but his leaning feels so inconsistent to my fingering. Paul. Demogorgon, I got an anyone can use. Add a window or pallet, charge up your shred, and then you put down portals and you can teleport. Very simple and fun killer. He's a little bit dog shit though, I'm not gonna lie. Oni's in could be challenging, and this for a simple reason that console players, it's actually impossible to hit the Oni 180 flick on controller. PC players can easily hit the 180 flick consistently. Console players, it's literally invincible. What? It's literally impossible. The most you can get is like a 90 or 110 degree flick. You cannot get 180. So yeah, console players are definitely a little bit of a disadvantage, especially compared to the PC players, because Oni's strongest tech is not even possible. So that's why I have him down here. Deathslinger have an easy to use. You see a survivor, you aim, there's the center of your screen, and you click and you get the hit. The only part you gotta really get a feel for is it's a projectile. It's not a hit scan gun. So when you shoot, there's travel time for his bullet. The aiming part isn't hard. It's projectile part that can be a little tricky, but you'll get used to it. Pyramid Head, I have and will take time to learn. Now look, his power is very simple, don't get me wrong, but he also has traveling time. His fucking attack is not hard to dodge. It's actually like really easy to dodge, like low key. And when he puts his sword in the ground, he just loses distance, so you could just hold W against him. Playing him in general isn't hard, but going against any semi-decent survivor, they're dodging that shit 8 times out of 10. Maybe I'm just ass with him, most likely, but I don't know. I just think he's too easy to dodge. Blight, just pick someone else at this point, bro. I used to be a Blight main. I used to have so many console Blight guides, bro. If he still had Hug Tech, I would put him higher because obviously I used to main him and I was disgusting. But after they got rid of Hug Tech, I feel like his usability on controller is like diminished, bro. Bump Logic is really hard on controller, especially because we can't have super crazy high sensitivities. And if we max it out, well, that's gonna mess with our mind games. It's gonna make the game just like be harder because the sense is so high. And even hitting a shoulder flick on console is insanely hard. Because on PC, if somebody wiggles and you look left and it turns out they wiggled and they go right, the second you move your mouse right, I need water. The second you move your mouse right, Blight starts looking to the right. But on console, when you move your stick to the left, there's like a center point that you have to cross, and it's just not fast enough. Like, you just don't have the fast enough reaction time, and the controller won't put in the input fast enough. Not to mention, just bump logic in general is much harder on controller than it is on PC easily. Not saying he's easy on PC, he's just significantly harder on controller. Twins, easy to use. Victor is pretty easy to hit on controller. Just perfectly track a survivor. It might be a little bit harder with the joystick, so it really just comes down to how well you can aim and predict. Trickster, just pick someone else at this point. Consistently hitting every single projectile knife that small is much more challenging on this killer than hitting one big one on Huntress or Deathslinger. Just tracking the survivor and constantly flicking to them without aim assist is insanely hard. Not only that, but some survivors will DC after looking at you. Nemesis, easy to use. Dragon the Tentacle does take a few games to get used to. You gotta kind of predict survivors sometimes. Other than that, he's pretty decent and not hard. Cenobite Heaven could be challenging. He is the most inconsistent feeling killer in the game on controller in my own opinion. His chains break easily. Aiming the chain with the joystick isn't so easy. Dodging it really isn't that hard either. Your best chance would be to find the box as much as you can. Then you'd be better off than using his chain at like 80% of the loops in this game. He just does not feel very good. And I mained him for like few weeks after he came out just because because I love the Hellraiser movies, but he just feels fucking terrible to play. Artist, easy to use, learn where to put down your birds in a chase, and if you could get a cross mapping, she could be very insane. However, good survivors, whenever you put down a bird at a loop, they'll just run away, and it'll just go over and over and over again, and it's so boring. And dodging the bird, it's not the easiest thing to do, but many survivors would rather you smack them than just take a hit from the bird sometimes. Oreo, I have an anyone can use. D-Manifest, you stealthy, you get a teleport your survivors for condemn, and then you're a regular killer in chase. She's very straightforward, very easy, not too strong, but I think she's really fun low-key. Dredge, I have an easy to use. Using his shadow thingy in chase can be challenging against good survivors, but Nightfall helps a lot, and his teleport is point and click, so he's pretty easy. Wesker Ivan can be challenging, and I feel like just on controller, it's a little bit harder to aim, especially with both sticks because of the collision hitboxes feel inconsistent sometimes, and hitting the hook tech on console is like really hard, I'm not gonna lie. I still think he's not that hard. Anybody could get good with him. You just gotta play him quite a bit, but once you get it down, you got it. I have Knight easy to use. You just gotta learn to predict some survivors and the speed you send to guards. You got to be able to cycle through his guards right, but he doesn't take too much mechanical skill. It's more game sense. Gringularity, I have an easy to use. His quality of life changes were so needed and so great. He's actually like super fun and not too hard. In chase is so strong. You just aim at the survivors and you shoot. You literally get a crosshair when you're about to shoot too. And holding the camera button, you auto lock on survivors. The hardest part about being on a controller is done for you. Like, I think like this killer is like so good and so fun, like genuinely. Alien, I haven't could be challenging just because the flamethrowers really dog shit on him. Aiming his little like tail thing, whatever the fuck it's called, isn't as easy as Nemesis's whip, but once you get it down, you have it down, so I have him here. And low-key, just his character is hard to play because the flamethrowers are so easy at shutting him down. Chucky, I have an anyone can use. Like, I don't play Chucky at all, but I decided to run a game with him, and like he's like really easy. He's not as strong as he used to be because of his like nerfs and shit, so getting hits isn't guaranteed, but using his power in general is not hard at all. You just run fast with a knife as a doll. Unknown, I got an anyone can use. I'm using his little whatever the fuck. Can be tricky sometimes because it ricochets, so you do have to aim it and you do have to learn the trajectory, but he's not that hard for controller players, so I got him here. Vecna, anyone can use. All of his powers are very simple, not difficult at all. You just gotta learn to cycle through them and you'll get the hang of it. Dracula, when I recorded it, I put him at could be challenging, but now that I look at it, I want to change him to easy to use. His little hellfire thing is pretty good, but what the fuck did I put? His hellfire hitting depends because his love's a little slow, so decent. What the fuck did I put in my script? Hello? His hellfire is pretty good at hitting survivors, but it is a little slow, so decent survivors can dodge it pretty easily. His wolf form is pretty easy to hit, but I can see how some people find it challenging, especially because you have to aim it. But yeah, you guys know what I mean. Houndmaster, I haven't will take time to learn. I picked her up pretty fast, and I still find myself missing a ton of shots. It's just she gets the dog back so fast, and it vaults things. The dog vaults things so fast, it's pretty unfair, and it's like guaranteed hits. Obviously, she's gonna be nerfed immediately, so hits aren't gonna be as free as they are right now. But using the puppy, other than those times where I get free hits, it's like, it seems like really difficult, dude. And they're targeting on gens and doors. Bro, that shit is so fucking ass, bro. Kaneki, where else do I put Kaneki? He's obviously going in anyone can use. Don't get me wrong, after he injures everybody, he is pretty much just an M1 killer, kind of. He does break a lot of the rules that M1 killers have. Like, he can just close the distance instantly. He can use his power to get in front of you on body block. He can vault pallet. So people who say he's an M1 killer are completely wrong. But when it comes to just using his base power, he's probably one of the easiest killers in the game. You look at an obstacle, press R2. If you see a single pixel of a survivor's ass cheek on your screen, you're getting the hit. If for some reason this killer makes you have to mend, and I'm not just saying this like as a salty survivor who goes against him every match. No, this also comes from somebody who's been playing him heavy since release just because he's fun. And he's actually brain dead easy. My last video was actually me just playing Kaneki to see how good he was for controller players, and I'm hitting people that aren't even on my screen and people through walls. Like, this character definitely needs some adjusting when it comes to his hitboxes and stuff. When it comes to the skill, like, don't get me wrong, this character's a super high skill ceiling. We love to see it. But his skill, like, floor is also so unbelievably high. Like, it's almost impossible to, like, suck with this killer. I'm not saying it's free easy wins. I'm not saying this killer is top 3. but this killer is so easy to use due to how forgiving it is that I gotta put the killer all the way up here. Like, there's nowhere else I can put him. And that is my tier list. I'm putting it on screen right now. Ignore the watermark in the top right corner because I told you guys I had to edit the full video on my phone. Ugh. Not only that, but some of these characters I just wanted to put in spots where they don't really belong. Like, I don't think Pyramid Head should be like at this tier, but I also wanted to try my best to round out the tier list a little more. This is the console/controller tier list for average players who want to have fun. Now, I know damn well a lot of you guys disagree with what I said in this video, but if you comment something about it, make sure you be respectful. Let's not attack each other in the comments like a lot of people do in some videos. We're all about being respectful and having fun over here, so don't come around here with too much negative energy. But as I just said, let me know what you guys think. If you have any video ideas, make sure you put them down in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a good day.
Baby, it started when we were younger.